Favorite foods with me this morning, and it's a basket full of what? And we get from this, what do we get from this? Peanut butter. I have about 6 peanut stories to tell you from Ghana. But if I told you them all this morning, you wouldn't come back. Some of them are nice stories, some of them are not so nice stories. One of them has to do with some monkeys that we had. But this morning's story I want to tell you about is a story about the ladies that would carry these things on their head. Now, up here we have offering plates that size. Here is my basket of, these are ground nuts, by the way. They may look like peanuts, but in Ghana we call them ground nuts. Do you know why we call them ground nuts? They come out of the ground. Did you know peanuts came out of the ground, not out of a tree? They do. See, that's another story I got to tell you about my own peanut farm. So, in Ghana, people would raise their own peanuts and then sell them. And they would sell them sometimes cooked and sometimes not cooked. These are already cooked peanuts. And the peanuts that you eat at home, or the peanuts that are in peanut butter, it's already been cooked. Another story is how we made our own peanut butter in Africa. But the ladies would take not a plate that size, but even larger than that. They would have this huge, big old tray on their head, and stacked up on top of their head, they would have their peanuts. And then they would walk up and down the street and sell their peanuts. And this is how they would sell their peanuts. They would say, I don't ever remember them saying, peanuts! But ground nuts. And you would say, I'd like some of those ground nuts. And they'd have some paper bags, and she would get that big old tray of all those peanuts off of her head and down. Now, how she got them up there, I don't know. It's far more peanuts than is right here. And the reason I'm telling you this story is that she would take the peanuts and stack them on top of that tray in an order, and you would look at it and say, how did she do that? And she spent all that time just stacking their peanuts around and around and around and around till they came up to the top peak. And then you'd say, I'd like to buy some of those peanuts. And she'd take the tray off of her head, and she'd sell you a bag full of peanuts for maybe a nickel. Then she would restack the peanuts. And then somebody oftentimes would help her put that back on their head. Why am I telling you this story? That's a person, a woman, that would put order and have everything right in place. God does the same thing in our lives. He's put everything in perfect place for us. You may say, why did God give me parents like this? He didn't make a mistake. He perfectly placed you in a family with parents that He wanted you to have. You may say, well, why do I have to live in a house like this? Why couldn't I live in a big old mansion? Why do we have to have a car like this that smokes and breaks down and people make fun of our... God never makes a mistake. He puts you in a place that He wants you to be, and He has great order to it. Now, there are times that lady with a big old tray on her head with the peanuts would get bumped. And you would think, oh no, what happened to those people? I never saw it. I never once saw peanuts fall off that lady, a lady's head. She was always in control and always had seemingly no accidents. Let me tell you this about order in God's life. We may think, oh, that was an accident. Now everything's out of place. Somebody hit our car and smashed it up. Our house burned down. I've got a sickness that I'm so sick and so. God makes no mistakes and there are no accidents. And when those do happen, God's got a plan. He's got a purpose. He never makes a mistake. Stay tuned for the next peanut story. It's coming.